Um, I remember as a kid, I used to come up with like different reasons to go snuggle in my bed. Whether I would find a way to get out of soccer practice or Girl Scouts. Yes, I was a Girl Scout, believe it or not, or going to school. I'd find a way to creatively take a pause. And it was because I was always overwhelmed. And I mean, we could go on and on with a list of why I was so overwhelmed as a kid. I just want to make sure that I'm live where I want to be. So I find that I think that when I was new in practice, I was in my late 20s, early 30s. I moved through the world like asking for permission to be who I was. Like, this is who I am. Is that okay? This is who I am. Is that okay? And then as I got into my 40s, which was really cool, mid 30s, late 30s, early 40s, it was more like, okay, I'm getting the hang of this is who I am, and I'm pretty good with it. I think it's okay, right? It's okay, right? And then as I get up towards my 50s, which I'll be 50 this summer, it's really, this is who I am. This is me. This is who I am. And when I was a kid seeking comfort and nurturing and all of the things, I had to find ways to self-protect and to come up with excuses to say, I'm waving my white flag, I'm saying I need a break, and I'm going to hide under the covers. Or I was actually telling my son Quinn yesterday that the local playground, the local park, if you guys are from Princeton, Riverside School had these huge cement cylinders at the park that the kids would climb over and climb in. They were like tunnels, right? And I think they were actually there for construction, but I used to go when my cup runneth over, I used to walk down to the park and I used to go, there was no phone to play with, there was nothing like that. I used to go take, maybe I took a journal and some crayons and I would go in the tunnel with a blanket and maybe some water or a snack. And I would just go be quiet in the tunnel. And it was the most precious time, so much so that here I am 40 years later, 35 years later, still talking about it. So, and really remembering it as if it was yesterday, really vivid memories. I feel like the things that we have really vivid memories of from way back when are that they can tell us a lot about who we are and how we move through the world. So bring it fast forward to today. There's a lot happening on this side of the computer, as I'm sure there is wherever you are. And I'm constantly in this repivoting, reorganizing. And, you know, it's a really interesting thing to do when you have a team. I have this awesome team of people. I get the irony, Staffless Practice, but I need a team to run Staffless Practice. And I'm constantly pivoting because it's this huge thing that we've created that has a life of its own. And we're just kind of, we're narrating it. We're like, we're going with it, right? So I get these signals and these signs of needing to pivot or a pause, like press pause. And back in the day, we would listen to music on a tape deck. And when we wanted it to pause, there was no, there was no AI where I could just say, hey, you know who, press pause or stop playing. I had to walk over to the tape deck and press pause. You guys know that button, right? So now the need to press pause looks like these symptoms and signals that I get. And generally speaking, if I don't listen to the symptoms and signals, they get louder. And if they get louder, they start to hurt and they start to go deeper. And it starts to become harder and harder to pivot, or actually to even not pivot, to not listen to it. So let me give you a for example. Let's say that I'm burning my candle at both ends and everything is going too fast, that I can't keep up with it. And usually for me, that looks like I go to sugar before I go to vegetables or protein. It looks like getting overly emotional when I have a challenging conversation with somebody and not being able to let go of it. It looks like not listening as much as I am talking. It looks like wanting to skip my workouts or come up with excuses for the workouts. It looks like really vivid, wild dreams, lots of dreams. It looks like when I wake up at 5:30 a.m. or 6 a.m., I have a whole list of things to write down. These are signals that it's not necessarily physical manifestations, although sometimes it's back pain, sometimes it's tweaky stuff, like I might get a headache for a couple of minutes. Sometimes I might get, super thirsty, like I have to drink water now. Like my body signals just get louder. And these are the signals that it's time for me to press pause or pivot. And here's what happens, okay? If I don't listen to them, they get louder and I end up crashing and burning. And that looks like a cold or a flu or whatever. It looks like throwing my back out. It looks like not being able to move through the world the way that I want to. Everything goes stop. So here's what I want to say two things about this. One thing is I'm giving you permission to press pause if you need to press pause, because if you are taking care of people, we have to give ourselves pause. We have to take time every day to do nothing. We have to have a creative outlet. We have to be moving our body to the point of sweat. My rule is 10 minutes for every hour of sitting. We have to be hydrated. We have to be eating real food. We need chiropractic care. We need all of these things to make sure that the signal from innate, from my physiology, I get the signal that I need to slow down. I get it really loud and clear. I stop. I listen to it. I need that signal to be as on point as possible so that it doesn't need to get louder, right? So A, I'm giving you permission. B, I'm telling you that I go through this at least once a week. I get a signal like, oh shit, here we go again. I need to slow down. So actually, what I did, I got the signal this morning and there was just too much. There was too much going on. There was too much on my plate. And I said, stop. I reached out to my chiropractor. I said, I'm getting on your table this afternoon, come hell or high water. I had to make an appointment with my kid. I made an appointment with my mom to spend some time with her. Like I had to do these things for self-care. It was getting more and more clear from all of my signals. So the other thing I want to offer to you if you are a wellness practitioner is I had all of these signals, right? And the signals for me this week looked like twingy back pain, looked like reacting rather than responding, looked like not taking the time to hydrate. Like those are my little signals, right? And let's say that I had gone to my chiropractor or gone to my primary, who is my chiropractor actually, or gone to spend time with my best friend and they were trying to fix those signals or symptoms for me. They were saying, well, your body really, something's wrong. Let's make that go away. Imagine the disservice that would do for me, as opposed to my chiropractor saying to me, wow, how can we support your body? How can we give it room to maximally process whatever is going on with it? How can we listen? It's such a different thing, right? To have somebody feel like they need to fix what I've got going on, as opposed to somebody saying, Jody, my job as your wellness practitioner is to support your process. What's the signal? What do you need to listen to? And let's make space for that signal to be as clear as possible, so that if the signal is take a pause, take a break, that's what I'm doing. If the signal is stop eating sugar, that's what I'm doing. If the signal is spend time with my best friend, that's what I'm doing. If the signal is stop watching TV and looking at my phone like this, that's what I'm doing, right? So I've got all these amazing people who come to see me as a chiropractor, and every one of them has expressions of tension because we are alive. Our bodies make noise and they have symptoms and they have signals. And my hope is that the people who I serve get the message when they're in my office that every signal and every symptom has a story to tell. It has a rhythm to unwind. All of that is true. And I'm kind of going off topic here because I wanted to talk about permission to pivot. So all I'm saying is that when we are in this position of being a wellness practitioner, we feel like we need to make that symptom go away. And boy, oh boy, would that have been a disservice to me this week, just on this side of the computer. So I want to share my excitement about the possibility of listening to signals. I want to share my excitement about the ability that I had today to give myself permission to just press pause and go do some self-care and make the opportunity where I had appointments scheduled for this afternoon, but to move it to tomorrow morning, which actually works better for all my people. So ask yourself the body signals that we get. What's the signal? What do I need in this moment? Am I thirsty? Am I hungry? Am I angry? Am I lonely? Am I tired? Do I need support? Do I need less support? Do I need to sleep? Do I need to do nothing at all? What do I need in this moment? And give yourself permission to pivot. Okay, that's it. Just like I did when I was a kid, I found ways to press pause. And man, we find it when we're kids, and then somehow a lot of us disconnect. And then it's like as we age or as we mature or as our wisdom increases, we go back to it. We go back to the innate ways of being when we were kids. That's why I love kids so much, because they're so connected. They're so innately connected. And it seems to me that, and you guys let me know if you disagree, the disconnect is happening earlier and earlier in life. The disconnect from being able to listen, from being able to cry, from being able to lie down on the floor and stomp the fist. It becomes less and less appropriate, earlier and earlier. So I like to think that my office becomes a safe space for people to express that. Okay, I think that is what I wanted to share with you guys. If you're watching this on Facebook, it looks like Restream is posting this post as a new wave of practices on the horizon. That's not what this post is about. This post is about the pivot and permission to pivot. And that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm right here on the other side of the computer.